nursery because the kids love coming to the fence and counting the fish at the nursery. So, I mean, I suffer with depression most of the times. Well, before this all happened, I used to sit home and, you know, I'd be bored, or if I got really badly depressed, I'd be sitting down crying and I didn't know what to do. But since Steph came along, I mean, I can still do it, but it has benefited me a lot because I really enjoy what I'm doing. It's getting me out of the house, it's getting me to meet new people. I don't normally make friends, and I've got a best friend since all this.
It's given me a sense of belonging to where I live, as part of the community, definitely.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
It's also given me a job, because I was employed by school after the school garden,
Yeah.
to do dinner lady and school gardening with them.
Yeah.
So I've actually got a job out of my community work. It also gives you a feeling of safety.
Yeah.
You feel safer walking around the streets of the
Yeah.
estate
Yeah.
because so many people know us and know who we are.
Yeah.
Everybody lets on and says good morning or good evening. Whereas before, when it was dark, I'd be a bit reluctant to actually walk the
Yeah.
streets of the
Yeah.
estate. Now I see, you know, teenagers in hoodies and they're all like, hello, Steph, and it's nice. It's definitely built a sense of community in the area.
And we walk around in our uniforms, so they know who we are.
Hello, I'm David Yates. I'm the secretary of the Eccles Community Hall organisation, or ECHO. We're standing in Eccles Town Hall, which is in the Barton ward of Eccles, and you're looking at the renovation of this magnificent ballroom. We received funding from the Fairshare Trust through the Barton Fairshare panel in order to renovate this room in the middle of the town hall. The hall had been abandoned since the local government reorganisation in the 1970s. The council had done a lot to maintain the building, the overall structure, but the actual fabric inside the hall, which had been used gloriously over the years as a centre of the community, had been neglected. And so when we were given the lease a couple of years ago, it was in an awful state. There were plaster missing from the ceiling. A false ceiling had actually been introduced, going right across the windows, which were very elegant. The windows themselves were in a poor state, they wouldn't open, the floor was in a mess. So we had an awful lot of work to do, and at open days, when we brought the community in to show people, people were in tears to see the state of it. But through the expert work of people who'd been funded through the Fairshare Trust, we have now got something which is almost ready to open. So what we've now got is a hall which is structurally sound, it's warm and it's light, and we'll be able to hold concerts here. But there's more potential to this building. We're going to need lots of state-of-the-art changing facilities for the theatrical productions that will undoubtedly want to come here. So we really are grateful to Forever Manchester and the Fairshare Trust, because without what you might call major pump priming of this type, we wouldn't be in a position to open the hall, even on a limited basis, and it would be much more difficult for us to apply for subsequent grants. Welcome to our very first concert at Eccles Town Hall. As I think you might be able to see, we're already almost full and we've got another 20 minutes to go. We asked people to come early, they came very early. There's a lot of interest in coming to see this, and what surprised me tonight is that not only are people excited at coming to this new venue, but they're very happy to see other friends here. It's like being in a village at a big party. Lots of people are saying, my goodness, I haven't seen you for ages. And so the message is being repeated frequently this evening. I'm sure we're in for a really good evening.
I'm Anne Godding, Neighbourhood Manager for the Eccles neighbourhood area, which covers the wards of Eccles, Winton and Barton. We're here in Eccles Town Hall. We're a small neighbourhood team and we work very closely with local people, local councillors and other partner agencies really, to address local issues in the area. Approximately 3 years ago, the Barton ward received some external funding from the Fair Share Trust. This was managed by Forever Manchester, and the Barton Fair Share panel was set up to look at how they would allocate this funding in the area. The panel consisted of local residents and local councillors, and groups and organisations could complete application forms for a certain amount of the funding in order to fulfil the aims of a project that they wanted to carry out. One of the projects that stands out in particular is the alleyway greening project in Barton. Groundwork was successful in receiving some of the Barton Fair Share funding in order to manage this project with local people. The neighbourhood management team have worked closely with Groundwork to get that information out to contacts so that they were fully informed about what the project entailed, and if they were interested in supporting Groundwork and blooming up their alleyway, they could apply into that pot in order to do that work.
My name's Liz Edwards and I work for Groundwork Manchester, Stockport, Salford, Tameside and Trafford. We're a local charitable trust. I work as a training officer and a community development worker for the trust. We were approached by Forever Manchester in 2012 to work on a project funded by the Fair Share Trust, which is an alleyway greening project located in Barton in Salford. The Barton Fair Share Alleyway Greening Project was all about engaging the local community in Barton in Salford in alleyway greening activities, which could be around gardening, fruit and vegetables, flowers, all sorts of things to improve and create a green oasis in the area. The Gated Alleyway Greening Project has helped bring neighbours together and given people a bit of an idea of where to go with their alleyways, and raised a lot of issues that are starting to be addressed as well, some of which have been addressed by the residents by doing clean-ups in advance of the greening project actually happening, but also in terms of the council coming in and giving them a bit of a hand as well. Prior to the alleyways being gated, a lot of people, like residents, experienced a lot of antisocial behaviour, not necessarily from neighbours but from people coming in, going through the back alleys and breaking into houses, things like that. Also lots of litter dropping and just behaviour that shouldn't be happening in the alleyways was happening. People who shouldn't be there were there. There are a lot of residents who have been involved in the project who've really taken hold of the idea and gone with it. Some have already been doing some growing in their alleyways. A particular person is Brian Wadsworth and his partner Linda.
My name is Brian Wadsworth. I live here in Barton, Eccles. We work in conjunction with the alleyway greening project with my wife Linda. Number one, we decided we'd have a massive clean-up, i.e. taking all the weeds up, putting weed powder down. We want the place not just to grow our own vegetables, but to make it look nice. Been here 30 years. We've tried to keep it clean and tidy to the best of our ability. It got better since the alleyway gates were put up approximately 6 years ago. It stopped a lot of undesirables coming through and dropping litter and whatnot. We did start it well before the project, growing out stuff in the backyard in little pots. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful. Since the alleyway greening project started, we've come on leaps and bounds as regards growing our own vegetables. For example, these boxes, all from Groundwork. We grow our own veg. It's great. We had a nice crop of garlic last year, which was unbelievable. We're going to get the same again next year. Again, if it weren't for the project, we wouldn't have all this.
The project has really worked so well partly because of the residents themselves who've really been engaging in the project really positively. When we asked them, do you want to have your alleyway greened? And they went out and researched and found out that their neighbours are really interested and got them to sign up and came up with lots of ideas. So some of the submissions that we got from the alleyway were just incredible really and really inspiring, and people were really keen to have this, make this transformation happen.
Look up now! Hey. Gorgeous guys, well done. One more. So we've been showing the mayor all the hard work the residents have done and the beds and plants that have been planted.
This not only is a nice space for you and your families, but this brings this community together. It's your space and I know that you will maintain it and make it even better. So well done to everybody.
Well done, everybody.
The transformation that's taken place in the alleyways because of this project has been remarkable. It's really brought residents together and has given a real sense of community pride as they have worked together with one another to clean up their alleyway and make it look attractive.
It's improved my life quite considerably. Reason being is, being disabled and not being able to do what I used to do, I can come out here on a summer's day, relax, and take all the beauty in. That's what it's all about. It's made a major difference to me, and also my wife as well.
My name is Alan Bradbury. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Droylsden Youth Centre. We're here today to have a look at the new club being developed here in Droylsden, which is a £1.5 million redevelopment of a site where we had an old youth club before, which was an old prefabricated building, formerly a day nursery, built around about 1945. With a life expectancy of 15 years. It was due to be demolished in about 1960, and up to 6 months ago we were still using it. Well, the building is going to be slightly changed from what we did before. It's going to be more of a community centre, bringing people in from other organisations who will be able to use the facilities that's being provided. Apart from that, it's going to be the home for our Droylsden Amateur Boxing Club and Droylsden Juniors Football Club, who are going to be using this facility mainly. We're going to have an AstroTurf, which is going to be used for the younger children to do training on. The boxing club, which was with us in the old club, is going to have a brand new state-of-the-art gymnasium. There's going to be a community room and a canteen facility, which should be open to the public, and we hope that it's going to be a massive asset to this area. We've obviously had to raise a lot of money, and as part of that we've had a large contribution from the Fair Share Trust, which has been administered by Forever Manchester. Working with Forever Manchester has been quite easy and quite simple. They've helped us tremendously with the administration and the paperwork, and that has enabled us to get this project off the ground.
All your area, and then there's the sort of cafe area with kitchen. And I'm Councillor Kieran Quinn. I'm a Droylsden East councillor, so my first involvement here was as a local councillor, just coming along to meetings. They had a few problems about 10 years ago, helping them out those problems, sitting down with Alan and his team. Since then, I've become leader of Tameside Council, and I was just able at the final moment, just before the economy got really, really bad, to be able to make sure that the council was able to put its hands into its pocket. This whole footprint is... When we started talking about this scheme and started to make it come to life, one of the earliest benefits, one of the earliest boosts we got was through Fair Share. Fair Share and Forever Manchester have been working in this area for approximately 7 years, and they're helping community groups come together. If Fair Share hadn't been around, that significant boost that this scheme got at that really, really crucial time, this would never have happened. It's that boost that Fair Share gave that allowed us then to finally put the piece of the jigsaw, the financial jigsaw, together to make this happen.
In 2013, the club celebrates its 50th anniversary, and that to me it means it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see what we founded in '63 in an old prefab, now developing into a £1.5 million state-of-the-art facility.
Hi, I'm Suzie North and I'm the chair of Prime Droylsden Youth Club. As you can see, we're actually on a club night on a Friday night. From 2004, I became a volunteer in the Droylsden community. I started off being an LEA governor at Greenside Primary School, I've worked for Youth Offending Team, I've worked for Partners and Communities Together, all voluntary positions. More recently, an IAG member for the police representing Tameside young people. We started a disco called Delta in June 2009, which was very, very successful. With this, in December, we decided that the young people needed something to do to keep them off the streets. We got together, we had to get a constitution, we had to put a business plan together, and generally just work hard to get this place up and running. It finally opened its doors in February 2011. Since we've been open, I'd say we've probably had in excess of 3,000 young people through the doors. We're open on a Wednesday and a Friday night, 6:30 till 9 o'clock. And we have young people of all different ages, abilities, and from different schools that would not normally come together.
60 people. Thank you very much.
It's good, you get to do loads of activities, all that stuff. They let you dance and everything.
Before Prime opened, there was a lot of antisocial behaviour and youths causing annoyance in the Droylsden area. People were just being moved on from one place to the other. Droylsden, amongst other towns in Tameside, have had some bad press recently, unfortunately.
Now, both these incidents are being linked, but police are also connecting these two incidents with another which happened on May the 25th, when 23-year-old Mark Short was shot in the neck at the Cotton Tree pub in Droylsden and died. They're connecting all three, and they're asking people, if they see Dale Cregan, to not approach him and get in touch with the police.
When there was a shooting over the road, Prime's numbers really did go down, and I'm not surprised, to be honest with you, because as a parent, who would want their young people hanging around on the streets where there's possible guns, grenades, and gangs that just don't care? Prior to this, we had up to 104 people a night on a Friday and a Wednesday night, which was unbelievable. We're now building numbers back up. I know this is a Friday night now. Last Friday we had 74 young people in. I'd say we've probably got the same kind of number in again. But it's all about that community reassurance, putting the faith back into people. We received a grant from the Fair Share Trust, and this paid for the equipment here in the club. We've got laptops, we've got Wii's, we've got Xboxes, loads and loads of games. In the other room we've got DJ equipment, we've got pool tables, we've got table tennis, we've got football tables, we've got the Scud racing car. We've got absolutely loads and loads for the young people to do.
It is very good. Best club I've been to. Yeah, best youth club anyway. Awesome. Awesome.
We think they're very, very lucky to have all this equipment, but so do they. All we want to do is try and help our young people in Droylsden to grow up to be really good citizens.
My name's Gary Stanyard. I'm an asset-based community builder in Great Lever and Bolton. An asset-based community builder that's funded by the Fair Share Trust. And asset-based means we look for the strengths and possibilities and abilities of people around us rather than the deficiencies and needs of a community. So it's a very positive role about bringing people together, and my role fulfills the community cohesion part of the Fair Share Trust for this area. Some of the projects that have been funded by the Fair Share Trust over the last 10 years have helped people connect into a wider community themselves, such as the project that was the Ages Group has been a way of encouraging those who are unable to maybe make the most of their gardens to have their gardening done for them. But on the other side of that, it's helped engage vulnerable adults to be able to participate actively in the community, and it's also allowed some of those who have gardening skills to be able to put them to use. For those who've been part of that, it's been a journey for them to think about, well, what's possible for them after they've tried out with the Ages Group and tried their bit of gardening, and what more might they do with that. So that has made a big impact on probably close to 100 residents in the area who may not have known about that before. And that's one example of a way that it really is about using the resources around that help make that project successful. It was very forward thinking of the Fair Share panel to accept having a community builder in the area. It wasn't all areas that would accept having a community builder. And that was a realisation that perhaps there still needed to be that tightening together of connections within the community. That has meant